Hi friends, have you subscribed yet? Subscribe, it's important to me. The mechanic's influence. Tom and Kate had been married for 8 years, living a comfortable life in their rented spacious apartment in New York City. They had a daughter, Emma, who had just turned 3, and everything seemed fine on the surface. Tom was a hardworking man, dedicating long hours to his job in order to save up for a house in the suburbs. Kate, on the other hand, was a stay-at-home mom, taking care of Emma and handling household duties. Tom trusted Kate entirely. They had always been honest with each other, or so he thought, but recently, something about Kate's behavior had changed and was bothering him. She started making strange, out-of-character comments. For example, one day when their car had issues, Kate casually remarked, "You know, Tom, I think it's probably the alternator. I read somewhere that if the battery keeps dying, it's most likely that." Tom had looked at her, half surprised and half amused. "You read that somewhere. Since when did you get into cars?" he asked, chuckling. Kate shrugged nonchalantly. "Oh, I pick up things here and there. Helps to be informed." Tom raised an eyebrow, but brushed it off. He figured maybe she'd been watching some YouTube videos. After all, she spent a lot of time at home, and who knows what rabbit holes she might fall into online. But then, it wasn't just the car. A few weeks later, when Tom was fixing a leaky pipe under the kitchen sink, Kate leaned over and said, "Maybe it's the O-ring in the faucet. Those things wear out after a while. You could also try using plumber's tape." Tom stared at her, wrench in hand, speechless for a moment. "Plumber's tape? O-ring? Are you secretly moonlighting as a plumber now?" he joked, trying to hide his growing curiosity. Kate simply smiled and shrugged again, leaving him to his work. That night, Tom lay in bed thinking about it. Kate had never shown any interest in mechanics, plumbing, or anything related to DIY projects. In fact, she usually left all that to him. Yet, here she was suddenly giving him advice like a seasoned handyman. Maybe it's her dad, Tom mused. Kate's father was retired, but he had always been handy. Perhaps they'd been chatting more lately. But then he remembered that her dad had been ill for a while and wasn't really capable of helping out with repairs anymore. Her dad definitely didn't teach her about car alternators. Tom muttered to himself, a flicker of suspicion creeping into his mind. Then came the kicker. One Saturday afternoon, Tom was putting away groceries that Kate had brought home when he noticed something odd. Buried beneath the bags of vegetables and pasta was a box of condoms. He froze, holding the box in his hands, his heart pounding in his chest. They hadn't used condoms in years. Ever since Emma was born, they'd been trying for another child. Tom stared at the box, confusion turning to dread. He didn't want to jump to conclusions, but his mind was racing. Why would Kate buy condoms? He decided not to say anything immediately, but the unease gnawed at him. Over the next few days, he started paying closer attention to Kate's behavior. She seemed distant, distracted. When he tried to ask her about her day, she gave vague answers or brushed him off with a quick kiss on the cheek. A week later, things took another strange turn. Tom was cleaning out their car, getting ready for the upcoming weekend when he found something stuffed between the seats. A pair of black stockings, not just any stockings, but the kind Kate only wore on special occasions. He hadn't seen her wear them recently, and they definitely weren't from any date night with him. Okay, something's definitely up, Tom thought. His mind was racing, trying to piece everything together. The sudden expertise in cars and home repairs, the condoms, the stockings. It didn't add up. One night, Tom decided to confront her. "Kate, who's been teaching you all this stuff about cars and plumbing?" he asked casually, trying to mask the suspicion in his voice. Kate laughed it off. "Oh, I've just been reading up on things. It's good to be prepared." Tom forced a smile, but couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. Then came the night that confirmed his worst fears. Kate told him she was going to a girls' night at her friend Lucy's place. Tom thought nothing of it at first. After all, it wasn't unusual for Kate to hang out with her friends. But something in the way she hurried out of the house made him suspicious. He decided to check the security cameras he had recently installed in the front yard, more out of concern for safety than anything else. But tonight, he had a different reason to check. Later that evening, Tom sat on the couch, his phone in hand, reviewing the footage from the cameras. His blood ran cold when he saw Kate leaving the house, not in the casual outfit she had put on earlier, but in a short, tight dress that he hadn't seen her wear in years. And then, a car pulled up. It wasn't Lucy's car. He zoomed in and recognized the driver was their mechanic, Ryan. Tom's heart sank. Ryan had been coming around often to fix their car, even when nothing seemed to be wrong. Kate got into the car, and they drove off together. Furious, Tom grabbed his keys and decided to follow them. It didn't take long to track them down to a bar on the other side of town. Tom parked his car and walked inside, scanning the room until he saw them, Kate, laughing and leaning against Ryan at the bar. Tom's fists clenched as he walked up behind them. "Hey there," he said, his voice dripping with sarcasm. Kate froze, her face turning pale as she slowly turned to face him. "Tom, I..." Ryan, clearly tipsy, slurred, "Oh, hey man, just having some fun, no big deal." Tom's patience snapped. Without thinking, he swung his fist and punched Ryan square in the nose, sending him tumbling off the bar stool. The entire bar went silent as Ryan groaned in pain, clutching his face. Kate stood up, trying to explain, but Tom was done. "Don't. Just don't. I'm not stupid, Kate. I've known for a while." He stormed out of the bar, leaving her standing there in shock. When he got home, he packed a bag and left a note on the kitchen counter. "I'm done. File for divorce." A few days later, Kate tried calling, texting, apologizing. She admitted everything: the affair with Ryan, the lies, the deception. But Tom had made up his mind. There was no going back. The camera footage, the condoms, the stockings, and the truth, it all came crashing down, but in the end, Tom knew one thing for certain: there was no room in his life for someone who had betrayed him so deeply. Reader comments. Mark Gley. "Man, I had a similar thing happen to me. Those innocent nights out always have a way of turning ugly. This story really hit close to home." Jessica P. "I can't believe she was so bold. Bringing the guy around in the guise of fixing the car? Tom was way too patient with her." Daniel F. "The mechanic part was hilarious. The moment she started giving advice about alternators, I knew something fishy was going on." Sarah L. "It's stories like these that make me so grateful for a loyal partner. I love the way Tom discovered everything. Using those security cameras was a genius move." Michael K. "I would have reacted the same way, Tom. Punching that guy in the face, priceless. Sometimes that's just what it takes." Kim W. "The humor made the heavy parts of the story bearable, but damn, Kate was brazen. Or Tom. I hope he found peace after the divorce.